How's it going, guys? Back with another Mustang video. So if you've been tuning into my videos, you know that I'm prepping the car for a Marty Ochs Tune. I'm definitely excited to finally get a reputable, tuner with 20 plus years experience on this certain car, Crown Vics, etc. But in general, he is basically the magic man when it comes to these kind of cars. So he's been tuning them for years. So I've been prepping the car basically to get it all prepared for this, tuning session that I have scheduled for the beginning of July. If you've been tuning in from the beginning, you know that I had a local tuner who had this car all out of whack since the beginning. He is having me run the stock MAF sensor. IATs were being read before the blower. It's just been all out of whack. So, since the beginning, he had the car for 3 months. If that piques all your interest, go back and watch some of my previous videos, guys. I had the whole journey on this whole car, the whole build since the beginning. So if that piques your interest, go back and watch some of those videos. You might have to go back a little ways, but it's definitely interesting. It's definitely a whole journey. Get all caught up and, anyways, in a previous video, I was basically explaining the things that, I was doing, or, kind of showed a little brief of what I did. So I got under the car. Sorry about that. I got under the car and I installed that aftermarket SETBA 2600 MAF. So I have that all installed, correctly now. I did drill a hole in this charge pipe. Let me see if I can get a good visual for you guys. It's right underneath. There it is. This is the ACT or IAT sensor. I picked that up from LMR. Drilled that hole into that charge pipe with a rubber grommet, put it in there, and then I JB weld that all on there. That's on there pretty good, and it's not touching anything, so I think I should be fine. I won't be pushing too much boost, 8 PSI probably. And then I had to run a separate harness. So I tapped into the existing MAF harness. I cut pin 1 and pin 6. That is specifically for the IAT sensor, because this is the 6-pin setup, because it is a 2003. I know some of these cars have the 4-pin, and it already has the separate IAT, but mine didn't, so I had to, go that whole route. So that's basically what I did also. But yeah, I've just been prepping this whole car to get it all ready for the Marty Tune session that I have scheduled. I'm definitely excited. I did mention that I'm located in Oregon on the West Coast, and he is located in Georgia on the East Coast. So it is a 3 hours difference. So I think I have this scheduled for like 1 o'clock here, so it'd probably be like 4 o'clock there. Definitely, yeah, just a crazy situation. So, but he's willing to work. I talked to him a few times. He's a pretty cool dude. Busy guy, obviously, because, he's been tuning these cars and he's pretty known. Figured out him on some Facebook groups. I get on Facebook every once in a while and I go on those New Edge SN95 Mustang groups, and his name is all over those groups. So I looked into it, and yeah, so I've been, doing some reviews, or well, looking at some reviews. Yeah, he's got some good reviews. I haven't seen anything bad. Let me get in the car, show you guys a little bit of what I actually wrapped up today. Bear with me here. It's a tight little fit. Give me 1 second. Okay. So what I actually ended up doing, I have this this little mount here, which is perfect. And then I got the SCT handheld device from Mo's Speed Shop, Marty. He sends you one of these. It does have a bass tune on it that I haven't, installed on the car yet. But I wrapped this up today. This is the little fire wire that he sends for your AFR gauge. Because, when when you're boosted and stuff like that, he has to, you know, be able to read those air fuel ratio. Yeah. Anyways, so he sends you this on request. You be like, you know, you can either pick it up yourself or he can send it to you, which I just had him send, you know, not that big of a deal. So I had to tap in down there. I have the AFR gauge wires and stuff like that. So I had to tap into that, the ground, and the, you know, reading wire. I think it was on the AFR gauge, I think it was the white and brown wire. Don't quote me on it. And then this was just a red wire, and then the green wire. There's a couple different wires that you can use, but those are the two that I used. So I tapped into that, and then I ran it, sorry guys, through here. And then when I'm done with this, because you're not gonna need this 24/7, I could just run that back down and, you know, tuck it underneath for next time, or, you know, whatever. So then you have this wire that goes down to the OBD2 port. And then I'm also going to be running another wire on this side that leads into the laptop. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of wires. It's going to be pretty chaotic, but I'm going to have my wife in the passenger side running the laptop, because from my understanding, Marty's going to be controlling everything. You have to download a couple things on your laptop, a little bit of software, and then send it to him. And then he'll be able, from my understanding, and then he'll be able to just, you know, control your laptop, which a lot of people are kind of weirded out about it, but I don't have anything to hide, and, you know, Marty's not going to be going into your, you know, stuff, and you can see everything that he does, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I don't got nothing to hide. But anyways, my wife is going to be in the passenger seat, and I'm, you know, going to be, you know, driving while Marty is on the phone. This is a live, you know, remote tune session, so he's going to be dialing it all in that day. So that's from my understanding. I'm definitely excited. Got my boost gauge, got my AFR gauge, got my SCT device, which I'm going to have this, you know, here 24/7, because from my understanding, you can read a few different gauges, which it looks pretty good in my opinion. You know, I'll have this and these other gauges, so it'll look good in my opinion. Let me know in the comments, do you guys just, you know, constantly run your SCT device? And, you know, I know a lot of people get them, you know, window mount and run it over here, but, you know, I have my boost gauge here, AFR gauge here, have that here, so I think it'll just all blend well. What do you guys think? I think it looks pretty good. I think it'll look pretty good. And then I'll run this wire probably underneath here. I don't know, I'll clean that all up after, but yeah. So just wanted to hop on here and update you guys. I'm definitely going to, the next video that you see will probably be after the tune. I'm not sure yet, because I do have that scheduled for next week. I forgot what day. Anyways, yeah, it's like a week away. I think it's next weekend, not this weekend coming up, but next weekend. And yeah, I'm definitely excited. Like, I'm getting the car. I think the car is finally ready. You know, like I said, I ran that harness, did the IAT sensor, MAF sensor, ran this Firewire, got all I got to do left is I actually went out to Harbor Freight also and picked up a battery charger maintainer kind of deal, because this car is definitely not my daily, it's my weekend fun car. But I haven't taken this car out for, you know, a couple weeks, because literally it's been a headache, guys. There's been jolting. Sometimes, you know, I can't even get the car into boost. Can't even have fun with the car, because every time I get it into boost, it just hangs in RPMs, and it just goes into like a limp mode kind of deal. I don't know if it was I know it has to do with tuning But my big thing is, I believe that it was because I'm running the stock MAF sensor, and the IATs were before the blower, so it wasn't reading the correct air temperature after the supercharger, so that's obviously going to make the car run very badly. So I feel like every time I hit boost, it was like, what is going on, basically? So I'd always have to limp the car home and let it sit overnight, and then it'd go back to normal. But and even on startup, guys, like literally when I would start the car, it would take a few times. It would I would, prime the car a few times. I would, turn the key, let that pump go, turn it off. Then I would turn the key, let that pump go again. I would do that like 2 or 3 times, and then I would try to start it, and it would just be like, and just like, it was crazy. And then it would just die. And then I would do it again, and it would sometimes it'd take 3 times, but then after that, it would be fine, for the rest of the day. And then I would drive it, go to meets and stuff like that. But it's been a headache. It's been a complete disaster. Ever since I've, got the car back, my local tuner literally stands by that this car is correct. This car is tuned. I don't understand how. And he said that he's been, tuning for 15 plus years. I don't know. And he has a good reputation in this town. Like, everybody, talks him up. But for some reason with my car, I don't understand. Like, literally. And how can you say that this car is running correctly? Like, literally, I don't understand it. But I'm not trying to badmouth them or anything, but it just gives me a complete headache, and it really grinds my gears when, somebody's basically takes my money and then, tells me that the car's fine, everything's perfect, everything's golden. Once you have the money in hand, obviously, yeah. So I don't know. A huge regret. Will never recommend that tuner to anybody. I'm so happy to finally be working with somebody that actually tunes these cars, weekly, daily, somebody that's going, like, from my understanding, he has good customer service, and, that's really what I want. I really want that, and I'm so excited, so pumped, because if this goes smoothly, everything goes good, like, literally, I'm going to be using him from now on, because I have so many more things to do to this car. It's not even halfway done. I still got to make a video on things that I have planned for the future. There is a few more things. I'm not done with this car. But, obviously I've been dumping money into the car, so I'm going to have to take a little pause after this. But, yeah, I got a few things planned for this car, so stay tuned for that later on. Help me out, guys. If you guys are liking this content, be sure to subscribe. It would definitely help me out. It keeps me pumping these videos out, and, hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. But, yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm at. Stay tuned, because next video, this car will probably most likely be tuned. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The next video is going to be this car already tuned. And then I'll update you guys on the whole thing. So yeah, if you guys are liking the content, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I would definitely appreciate it, guys. And like always, thanks for watching this video.